衝突していますね。
津波に飲まれ陸に乗り上げた船。折り重なるように押し流されてきた住宅。
母親が近くにいるんですけども、88歳になって元気なんだけども、そこまで助けに行けなくて、それが一番心配です。はい。トラックから出てきたの。
濁流に流される車の中で一夜を過ごし、ぐったりした様子の子供も無事救助された。
仙台市上空です。火が激しく燃え上がっています。
仙台市の工場地帯では大規模な火災が広がった。福島県にある2つの原発、政府が原子力緊急事態宣言を出し、周辺住民が避難する事態となっている。
多分2階であったところが落ちてきたんだと思われます。
柱が折れ、1階の店舗部分が押しつぶされている。
あれそこら辺から歩いてきて、みんながなんとかするって。
陸の孤島に取り残され、助けを待つ人は多い。まもなく巨大地震発生から2回目の夜が被災者に迫る。
こんにちは。ここからも引き続いて東北地方太平洋沖地震に関する情報をお伝えいたします。日本の観測史上最も強い巨大地震が起きてから24時間が経過しました。甚大な被害が広がっています。現在も大津波情報が引き続き発令中です。また政府は福島第一原発に続いて今朝、福島第二原発についても緊急事態を宣言し、付近の住民に対し避難するよう指示しました。被災された方々には心からお見舞い申し上げます。テレビ、ラジオなどからの情報、公共機関、
もう一つ、放射性物質を閉じ込めておくと、これが非常に重要な観点だと思います。今、燃料棒から溶け出しました放射性物質、これは部分的にしか外には出ていないということですので、放射性物質をこの中にできる限り閉じ込めておくと、こういう策を講じていくということが最も重要なことだというふうに考えています。
現在ですね、この福島第一原子力発電所は周辺の半径10キロ範囲の住民の皆さんには避難の指示が出ています。住民の方たちはですね、どういったことに気をつければよろしいでしょうか。
燃料がまた溶け出して放射性物質が外に出るかもしれないと、こういう可能性が出てきたということで、10キロ圏内の避難というものをお願いをしているということです。そのような事態が実際に部分的に、ではございますが進もうとしているということです。従いまして現状のあらかじめ余裕を持って早く避難等をお願いしたいということ、これを今後も続けていただくということがまずは必要になると思います。しかしながら余裕がさらに進んでしまうということになった場合にはですね、避難の範囲、これをさらに拡大をしていくという必要性もあるかもしれないというふうに考えています。
今のところはこの半径10キロ圏内で、避難は十分だと、大丈夫だと
私は考えております。
ありがとうございました。そして続いて科学文化部の山崎記者に聞きます。山崎さん、住民のですね避難の状況なんですけれども、現在どういった状況か。
そうですね。福島第一原発、この半径10キロ圏内の方には避難指示が出ております。この4つの自治体、浪江町、双葉町、大熊町、富岡町、この4つの自治体の、にはですね、一部にはこの10キロ圏内から外の安全なところに避難していくということで、それぞれの自治体ですね、今バスを出したりですね、マイカーで出ることなどですね、それぞれ自治体がですね、避難の仕方を呼びかけています。住民の方、まだ避難をされてない住民の方はちゃんと自治体のですね、テレビやラジオ、防災無線でですね、自治体の情報を正確に聞くと。
に対してラプロビン現場の中継は現在ですね、ヘリ2機による救出作業が
potential deaths from this or issues, or what?
We're primarily looking at two things. I mean, we're not so concerned about immediate deaths because for the progression of this accident specifically, it's taken place over such a long period of time. It's likely, it's likely they'll control the release, and it will take place over a long period of time. The issues that you're mostly looking at are cancer, additional people getting cancer in the community, and especially cancer of the thyroid gland, which will come from radioactive iodine, which is the major constituent that they watch for in an accident.
How long could you guess that people will be kept away from this plant? They have certainly sent people some 10 kilometers away at this point.
I really don't want to speculate, but it really depends on the progression from this point forward. If they can manage to recover core cooling, they could conceivably, maybe a matter of days before people are back. Maybe even less than that. If there's, if this gets to a point where they have to substantially release, a fair amount of radiation, that's going to be up to the prefectural or the national government in Japan to decide.
This is certainly a major story that we're watching unfold in relation to this catastrophe in Japan with the earthquake. Robert Apthorpe with Foskey and Associates in Chicago. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
The infrastructure is heavily damaged in the earthquake zone. Millions of people are without electricity or phone service. Most of the trains are not running and many roads are damaged. As CNN's Kyung La told us just a short time ago, all of that is adding to the anxiety of earthquake victims.
It is very, very tough to get around. Traffic is jammed up either way because there are no other arteries. There's one main road from where we are approaching from the south heading north to Sendai. And so what we're running into is merely frustration on our part trying to be reporters covering the story, but for the people who are trying to figure out where their relatives are, what to do next, it's an extraordinarily frustrating situation. They had the fright yesterday of the tremendous quake, and today they're having difficulty trying to move, trying to get around, trying to get a mobile phone connection, trying to dial out anywhere has been very difficult, whether it's on a mobile line or a landline. So the infrastructure itself has been very, very frustrating and tough to deal with for the people of this region. Then trying to figure out what the toll is going to be. For the personal level, for the people who are just trying to get about their business, the residents of this area, there's just no way for them to fathom exactly what that toll is going to be, because we're still, just one day into this, really trying to understand exactly where their friends and loved ones are. And then if you widen that out to an entire community, certainly it's a much larger scope than that. We are hearing quite a few military choppers flying overhead, so it does appear that the military is actively moving into that region, plucking people out because they are going back and forth. The challenge, though, is how to get enough equipment up there and how to get those people out as quickly as possible, Angela.
Kyung, there are so many sides to this story, so many aspects to uncover. But one of the things that I think has been among the most ominous developments is the disappearance of those 4 trains. Have you heard anything else about that?
There have been some various media reports that people have been plucked from at least one of the trains. We have not been able to confirm exactly what the details of that are, but there are a number of reports out there. The report is that 4 trains were unaccounted for at some point. It does appear they may have found some of the people on the trains, but right now we just don't have anything official or concrete from the rail lines.
Well, meteorologist Ivan Cabrera was on duty when the quake hit. He has been tracking the aftershocks and the tsunami still moving across the Pacific. That the folks missing there on those trains is is bad enough, but I was listening to someone being interviewed, Ivan, today, and during the interview there was an aftershock, and they can expect this for some time. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we've had 5 additional aftershocks since we last spoke half hour ago, and these are just going to continue here across Japan. We still have a Pacific tsunami threat here across the Pacific. We still have 7 countries that are involved here. That said, I think at this point that is precautionary. In Japan, it is because of additional aftershocks that could occur offshore that could produce additional new tsunamis. The rest of the countries that are included, and I'll fly through those rather quick here, are Mexico into Ecuador, Peru, and heading down towards Chile as well. These are still under a tsunami threat as far as the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, as far as the advisory, right? The warning is still up, but I think the threat has diminished significantly, and I'll show you that in a second here and why that is. It is because we are now past the 21st hour, and this is the progression. There's your epicenter, right? There's Japan right offshore, 3, 6, 9, 12, and we can continue here. Remember, the tsunami travels at 800 kilometers per hour, so at this point, if there was going to be a tsunami arrival, as far as a significant wave event on any of the shores that are warned, that should have happened already. So within the next 2 hours, if there is no sign of anything going on, I think they are going to be dropping those warnings here finally. Probably not for Japan because of additional aftershocks here. But from the original quake, I think now that threat across the Pacific has diminished. And remember, the amplitude has continued to weaken here as far as the wave high potential arriving at a shore has been diminishing over the last several hours, and that is certainly excellent news. Just to put it in perspective here, again, here, Natalie, are the aftershocks that we have been talking about. When I last saw you, 155, we're now up to 160, and what is that, half an hour ago? So we are averaging about 5 here every half an hour, so we'll continue to monitor that. None in the upper range. That is certainly some good news there for our good friends in Japan. We'll see you with the forecast in a few minutes.
Absolutely amazing. Thanks, Ivan. Okay. We are collecting links to organizations helping with relief efforts in Japan, and you can learn how you can help at cnn.com/impact.
CNN will continue to bring you the headlines and the emotions that are evolving right along with this story.
And imagine 1 second you're at work or at school or hanging around your house when this happens. We'll speak with the man who recorded these pictures as the quake struck.
The biggest challenges in pulp and paper industry in Indonesia is to meet the global market.
警報が出されているのは青森県の
宫崎县、鹿儿岛县东部、种子岛、乌九岛地区、沿美诸岛、有的地方。
沿岸と岩手県、宮城県、それに福島県の沿岸です。また津波警報が出ているのは北海道の太平洋沿岸と茨城県、三重県南部、和歌山県、高知県、宮崎県、鹿児島県東部と種子島・屋久島地方、それに奄美諸島、トカラ列島です。このほか津波注意報が北海道のオホーツク海沿岸や青森県の日本海沿岸、それに関東から東海の太平洋沿岸の一部などに出ています。津波はこの後も繰り返し何度も押し寄せます。すでに津波が押し寄せて水に浸かった地域で高い建物などに避難している方は警報が出ている間絶対に外に出ないでください。また警報が出ている地域で海岸や川の河口付近、海に近い川沿いにいる方は高いところに避難してください。海岸などに様子を見に行くのは大変に危険ですので絶対にやめてください。気象庁は引き続き津波に厳重に警戒するとともに広い範囲で余震の揺れによる建物の倒壊や土砂災害などに警戒するよう呼びかけています。